Every man deserves to know their T levels. Step into Game Day Men's Health Solid and get tested on us. No guesswork, no waiting, just real answers. We got Zach Jackson on the show today, and Zach, over the weekend, said that Cedric Tillman could be a candidate to be traded after the Browns drafted both KC Concepcion and Denzel Boston in the first 2 rounds of the draft last month. Zach, is that just speculation? Is that something you've heard? And if he is on the block, what do you think the Browns could possibly get back in return for one Cedric Tillman?
It's just simple math, Mike. Cedric Tillman has had some moments here, but the last 2 years he hasn't been on the field enough to carry it on. You know, bad offense or no bad offense. Cedric Tillman's only signed for 1 more season, and they just drafted his replacement, Denzel Boston. They are very similar physically. They're going to play the same position as true outside wide receiver. So we will see how it goes. And if Cedric Tillman can stay healthy and play, he can help. He has size in a vertical offense. We've seen him contribute. Remember, it looked like he wasn't even on the team until Jameis came in 2 seasons ago and started launching to him. And, you know, like I said, there have been a handful of moments, both in training camp and over the games, where we've seen it from Cedric Tillman, but we just haven't seen it consistently. And Denzel Boston is here, and Concepcion is here. Jerry Jeudy's only on this team because he has to be. Cedric Tillman really doesn't have to be. So I'm not saying there's a huge trade market, and he might end up making the team. But if he's not one of the top 3 receivers, he's not a guy who plays in the return game, he's not a guy who plays on special teams, he's been here to be the number 2 receiver, and he has not seized that job. So as a new staff comes in and a new draft class comes in, he is an easy pick as a guy that could be on the way out unless he really meets the challenge over the next 3-4 months.
Yeah, I think what the receiver position, when you start talking about, like, you know, this will be very fascinating because we start talking about cuts and different things and who gets roster spots. The thing about receivers, the thing about defensive backs, the thing about offensive line, defensive line, those picks really matter because you need to understand if you play special teams or not. Cedric Tillman is not a returner. He's not a gunner. He's not going down on punts. He is a 1-2 player, which is a receiver. So he's going to have to overdo it. He's going to have to really overcook. And they did draft the same. It's not, you know, couldn't squint and look. No, him and Denzel Boston are 1 for 1. It's the same role. It's the same body type. It's the same position. So he actually is at a crossroads because you might think if he performs well, he'll make the team. But he might be one of those guys, if they do perform well, he's a guy that they love to move and try to find if another team or a contender wants to give him a late pick. But, Jason, I don't think he has to have a really great camp. Because they got the 2 young guys, they're going to get a nod to the dudes that they drafted, and he's been here a while. So he has to overkill it for him to be a guy that's going to be on this roster.
Yeah, his value is minimal. I mean, I don't know what you're getting for him, but it's not a lot, certainly. Not a lot. What's left on Jeudy's contract?
A couple of years, but really only one that they're stuck to.
So this is the last year they have to pretty much carry.
Yeah, it's pretty affordable to get out of it if you want to. So
after this,
yeah, he got about this will be year 3. Yeah, he got about 40 guaranteed, so it goes down. They still have about 22 in cap commitments to him. I think about more than half of that is this year.
Yeah,
that is correct, by the way.
So he has to. So Jeudy, to be truthful, Jeudy, you actually have to cook this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's making a lot more money. Yeah, I mean, Cedric Tillman's looking for that second contract where you make that real money.
Yeah.
Jeudy has it, and he got 40 guaranteed, but he's not going to see another contract or another year here if it doesn't work out.
And he's at the age group where you start seeing them Amari Cooper deals, where it's like 1, 2.
That's right.
You ain't getting no long-term money.
Just ask yourself this, Garrett. If they could cut him, or if they could trade him, what would the market be? Right? It would be a 1-year incentive laden. It would not be this stacked on deal.
Yeah. That's funny how it works when you get a new coach, because the timeline kind of reset for everybody, because they're not just looking at this year. They're looking at, okay, well, what we owe you and how much guaranteed money we got moving forward.
Yeah, Jeudy and Watson had zero connection early in 2024.
At all.
Zero.
I mean, they was like demonstratively looking at each other on the sideline. Man, I don't want to go back to it, but do y'all remember how we did the post game? After that Cowboys game,
when he was throwing the ball 7 yards out of bounds?
I said, bro, I couldn't understand it. The team, I've never seen it where there was the team, the fans, and everybody said, this just not
It's
good.
what we saw for 6 weeks before that.
The balls was going out of bounds. I'm like, they were out of bounds. And then the receivers, Judy's looking around like, you ain't giving me a chance. That's tough. Cedric Tillman, is there any chance, what would he have to do in order to be on this roster starting opening day?
Well, he's just got to outperform his direct competition, which is Denzel Boston. Because if Denzel Boston could still be a good player, but maybe as a rookie he's not ready to go right away, or maybe they both show up and ball. I mean, the Browns aren't looking to give him away. It's just when you start doing the math on his 1-for-1 replacement has been drafted. They drafted another receiver. They're committed to Judy. They got other guys coming through. Isaiah Bond is way faster than Tillman if they want to throw it deep. Like, he's just not guaranteed anything.
Yeah. And you take a look at it. I mean, the Browns talk about tight ends. They drafted like 5 and then signed like 6. I don't even.
And truthfully, Harold Fannin's probably their number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's changed with that.
Yes.
I know Concepcion ideally will change that, but is that going to happen as a rookie? You know?
No, obviously, I think Harold Fannin Jr. is probably their top target. And then you say, well, what else do they want to do besides that? Probably run the ball a bunch.
That's right.
So if you can get that, I think that's where it goes. But I will say Cedric Tillman, he has a better chance of making it than Jamari Thrash. I have no clue what Jamari Thrash does. I don't have any clue.
Yeah.
The Larvadanes of the world, the Malachi Corleys,
They're all gone.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
Yeah, Corley's got a chance because he's a special teamer. He's different than Tillman.
Yeah.
You know, Corley's ticket is to cover kicks, return kicks, be back there. Concepcion can return punts, but you didn't draft him in the first round to return punts. You drafted him as a weapon, and if that's part of it, then that's part of it.
Corley's also here to run end arounds and celebrate
That's it. That's
eight-yard
it.
gains.
His end around.
Think about how bad it was last year that Corley end around actually brought some juice to the offense.
No, like when they needed play, like when they needed to play. They're like
they were running jet sweep to Malachi
let's
Corley.
dial that up.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
They absolutely
to me.
were, Garrett. Yeah.
Like that is crazy. Like and then the ragtag group they had in the last game against the Bengals. There's no Junkins. There's no Fannin. It's Corley and like KT Livingston and bro, like it's nasty work out there. At least the Browns. Listen, at least I will say this. At least they have some names where you don't have to be talking about the parking lot pimping. They not getting no dudes at the parking lot, at the community lot playing. I think that's a good situation.